Hey, so I've just started this channel to cut through the hyperbole and hopefully provide um, an alternative, impartial source of news and opinion um, in an area where things are so polarized and so tribal and everything. So I think I've explained that well enough. But one of the other reasons I wanted to do this um, is because I'm desperately concerned about the future, about the fourth industrial revolution, about AI, about where we're going to be. I mean, there's people worried and concerned about climate change and how, oh my, in 10, 12 years or 20 years, there's going to be no planet. Well, I'm not. You immediately get pigeonholed as a climate change skeptic. I don't deny that the climate doesn't change. I don't deny that I'm sure it's man-made, a lot of it, but what can we actually do in 12 years? Nothing. And I'm now rapidly approaching 40, and this is now the third time I've been told that Armageddon's going to happen if we don't do something. And surprise, surprise, nothing's happened each time. So what frustrates me is they get people very concerned about this um, when there's no solution. Um, and it's awful, like that Greta Thunberg person who apparently started having panic attacks and got mutism and or selective mutism and all this stuff because he's so worried about climate change. And I think that's verging on child abuse because regardless of where you stand on the whole subject of climate change, there is nothing we can do in the Western world as the least biggest contributors towards this. Nothing we can do about that. I think the priority with climate and nature really is to be looking after nature, making sure that we have our countryside and clean water and our trees and wildlife, and that's what's important to me. I think there's something more sinister about the whole climate change movement, but I won't get myself into hot water talking about that now. I wanted to use the Greta Thunberg as a caveat, as a segue, because it's very clever on their part to use a child like that for the cause, because then if you attack it, and it, I don't mean it as in her, but the movement, if you attack it in any way or attack her, oh, you're attacking a child. So it's very clever, and I think a bit devious. But no, what's really significant is the fact that she suffered really bad mental health, but because she had this drilled into her as a young age. Now that is awful, um, and if she's suffering from a young age, I know for a fact that there are people who are really struggling right now uh, with depression, anxiety, addiction, all these things, um, and I struggled really badly with all of these things in my 20s, and I want to find a way of giving back. Um, it's a little bit scary for me to actually put my face onto it, um, but I think it's the right thing to do, because what I want to be able to do is, so it's not a completely selfless act, but I want to be able to offer an incredibly cheap service. I want to be able to offer some kind of one-on-one, either through online video conferencing or by text, a kind of whatever you can give type service for people to talk through it. I am actually trained I've got the basic training as a counsellor, but I think most importantly is I've been through it, and what I found with a lot of therapists is you talk to a lot of therapists, particularly when it comes to addiction problems, and they're so shocked. You feel like they just don't understand it. They don't get it. I have done every drug under the sun. I've had problems with alcohol. I've had severe anxiety from the age of 6. I've suffered from mutism, agoraphobia, you name it. I had depression throughout my entire 20s, and I would like to give back. The first thing I'd like to do is offer my story as to how I ended up through a gradual process on a lethal dose of fentanyl, and talk about this other thing that isn't discussed, which is the dark web, and how there must be so many others like me who have addictions to very, very, very hard physically addictive drugs that get delivered through the post box, and so just go completely under the radar and suffer alone with it. And so I had this problem. It caused a massive problem with my marriage. So I think for now, I won't go into it now. I'm going to see if there's any interest in me telling that story and talking through how I got through that on my own. I literally, as they call it, cold turkey. I literally went through that completely alone, and came out the other side. And I am so much better for it now. But I just it was the culmination. It was the final thing. It was the end of 10 years of partying, drug abuse, drink and drugs. And then I got to this point and found that I was in a really terrifying situation that I couldn't control, and I wanted control back. And I took it, and now my life couldn't be better. Well, it could always be better, I guess, but it's miles away from that. It's that distant memory that makes me judder. But I feel that maybe sharing my story could be really beneficial to people out there. So I'm happy to do that. And I would also, if I do that, I'd also happily offer a service for anybody who wants some advice of how to get started or some support along the way. And I will try and do that, because one of the things luckily I had the money for it, but I had to spend 3 years and thousands of pounds dollars, whatever, on therapy, which I know not everybody can do, and so it can be a very dark and lonely place. And so I would like to be able to do that, but I might do a series of videos talking about anxiety, depression, addiction, and most importantly, this last one that I mentioned, which was it's the cliche story. It started with prescription opiates, and then ended in terrifyingly expensive and terrifyingly dangerous habit and addiction to fentanyl, which in the States, as everybody knows, is killing people left, right, and center. I actually nearly died 2 or 3 times, had to be resuscitated, the full thing. So anyway, I won't, so far my videos have always gone on much longer than I intended. If this is a story that anybody out there would like to hear, and would find useful, I might do a spin-off series, like I said. So I'm going to stick to doing my news thing because I want to do that, and I've got videos that I'm still working on editing, which I'll bring out. But please, through the likes and comments, but likes and shares, if I get, basically, if I get 1,000 likes, I will tell this story, because obviously for me it's a big deal, because if it goes that public, then it needs to be, I need to make sure that it's doing good to people, and then I don't care who knows, I don't care who hears about it, as long as it's actually having a positive effect. But I think if I just came out and did it and got another 60 something views, then it's probably a waste, and it would be something that maybe future God, I hadn't thought of that. Employer could use against me. But if it's gonna be do some real good, then I'm really happy to do it. And yes, of course, it's a bit of a grab to get likes and views, because I want to grow my channel, because I genuinely want to do some good. I want to cut through the mess. I really want this channel to do some good, whether it be giving truth and facts and cutting through hyperbole, and at the same time, if I can also do a series on mental health and other things. I'm also a successful entrepreneur, and I started my own business when I was in school, when I was 14. So maybe I could do other things like that, tutorial type things. I hope this doesn't make me sound too arrogant, but yeah, it suddenly made me think of that. So yes, you got me. I am putting this out there because I want views and thumbs up, just so that I can gauge to see if that is something that people want. Because if I was to put it all out now and get 50 views, it's all not really been worth my while, and I've already said quite a lot. So if my story on addiction is something that you would like to hear and you would feel would benefit you, I would love to see that. Put it in the comments, share it with other people who might like the idea, so they can like it. And yes, if I get a good response, it's great. It'll grow my new channel, and if I get the response, as I say, then I will make some notes, and I'll do a good job of making it a proper feature, and I'll release it. So once again, yes, please give me the thumbs up, spread it, share this around, and like I said, I think if I hit 1,000 views / thumbs up, I will do that and tell my story with that, and then if that's successful, then I'll look at doing other similar things as well. And then regardless, I've got my other videos coming out that I mentioned in previous ones as well. So once again, thanks guys. Hopefully this has been a bit shorter than the other one. One more time, please thumbs it up, share it, if you'd like to hear this story, and just generally if you support the idea of this new channel and you've seen a few of the other videos, yeah, please tell your friends, share it around. Please help me get those thumbs up, because as you know, that's the only way I get more views, because I'm coming from nothing. That I'd be super grateful, and we'll see how we go with that. Otherwise, watch out for the content that I promised and said was already coming, which it is. Just this damn this damn editing. All right, guys. Thanks again for any any of you that have watched this. I know I'm dealing with small numbers at the minute, so I appreciate that. Even if it's just a few of you that have bothered to watch me, I appreciate that very much. So thanks again. Please thumbs it up and share it. Sorry for the repetition, and yeah, peace out.